Now we have coming up for our artists and for our viewers out there to soothe your jangled nerves and to get the sweet melodic harmonies of the Chapter 1 Quartet. Now, this is what's known as a sweet Adeline group, which of course is the female counterpart to the Men's Barbershop Society, and here's Chapter 1.
I want to tell you about what I've heard of back when my daddy was just a kid. Things that they don't allow nowadays, way back then were really the craze. 25 cents for dinner with homemade apple pie. Take it from me, I'd rather be back in those days gone by. They had pretty little flappers who were dandy finger snappers and really caught your eye. Doing the bunny hug and cutting the rug back in those days gone by. Guys would always bark with the girlies in the dark and the gals would never cry. They'd cuddle up close and make the most out of those days gone by. Speakeasies with bathtub gin, if you knew Joe, they'd invite you in. Wanna dance, wanna sing, looking for someplace to have a fling. Look no further, Vodiodo, just knock twice and ask for Joe. Broker hasn't called all day, trying to chase those blues away. Come with us and Vodiodo, just knock twice and ask for Joe. You don't need a formal invitation or a big political relation. All you ever need is dough and a speaking acquaintance with Joe. Button-down spats and little derby hats, they tipped as the girls walked by. She'd see some corkers coming round the corners back in those days gone by. Back in those days gone by.
May I station myself right here between all this pulchritude? This is the Chapter 1 Quartet, and Mary Kay, why don't you move over here as spokesperson for the group?
Okay.
As a spokesperson and as director of this quartet, could you please introduce the members of the band?
I'd be happy to introduce the members of the band, but I'm not the director of the quartet. Singing baritone, we have Becky Paul Abel. Singing bass, we have Pam Nichols. Singing lead, the melody, we have Jackie Crum, and I'm Mary Kay Morgan. I sing tenor. I would like to mention, though, that I do direct the Diamond State chapter of Sweet Adelines, which is the Sweet Adeline Chorus in the Newark, Elkton, Wilmington area, and we'd like any ladies who like to sing to come out and join us.
So, does Barbershop Quartet have directors?
Quartets don't have directors. You can have coaches, but you don't have directors.
I see. Now, are your harmonies the same as the men's barbershop quartets?
What makes barbershop style barbershop is the chords that are used, and so in that respect they're the same. We sing in higher keys than the men, but the basic style is the same.
Now, you've competed on a regional level, and I understand you've done quite well.
The chorus and the quartet both competed. The chorus did very, very well, came in the top 10, which was our goal, and this was the quartet's first year out, and we didn't do quite as well as we might have liked, but we're going to go back and do super next year.
Now, what do the judges look for in competition?
Everything and anything. They look for the total musical package. They look for music, and that's the songs that you sing. They look for your sound, how well put together that is. They judge you on expression, whether you carry across the message of the song, and they judge you on showmanship, which is whether you get scared to death on stage or not.
Now, men's barbershops date back to 1890, but your group's women's groups date back, what, 40 years?
Well, Pam's going to answer that.
Yes.
Sweet Adeline started in this country in 1948, more than 25 years ago.
I see. Now, what number will you be doing next?
Next, we're going to do a song called Nursery Rhyme, which is really for the kids and all the people that are young at heart. It shows how the four parts go together. We each have a solo, which doesn't sound like much in itself, but then you'll hear them all come together and you'll see what barbershop's like.
Chapter 1 Quartet.
Jack Horner sat in a corner eating his Christmas pie. Put in his thumb and pulled out a plum. Said, what a good little boy am I.
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
Sing a song of sixpence, pocket full of rye, 4 and 20 blackbirds baked in a pie. When the pie was opened, the birds began to sing. Wasn't that a dainty dish to set before the king? Little Bo Peep has lost her sheep, doesn't know where to find them. Leave them alone and they will come home, wagging their tails behind them.
Little Jack Horner sat in a corner, eating his Christmas pie. Put in his thumb and pulled out a plum. Said, what a good little boy am I.
Quartet, and we'll be back with more Focus Delaware after some short messages. Don't go away. Allison, we're going to see another song by Chapter 1 Quartet. Okay?
Someone was always in my dreams, that someone was always you. I never thought we'd meet someday, but now that my dream came true, I just want the right to love you all of my life. Just the right to take care of you all of my life. I just want the right to be near you, always to be there, sharing every care and strife. Life can be as simple as a nursery rhyme. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, all of the time. Long as I may live, I just want the right to give you all my love with all my heart for all the rest of my life, my life.
Well, here we are back with Focus Delaware, coming down to the end of the show. And last but not least, we're going to have another song by Chapter 1 Quartet. But before we get to them, I wanted to tell you that we had the winners to the giveaway. Now, the question was, whose birthday was it on the State of Focus Delaware? And the answer was, of course, yours truly, Bob Weiner. And the winners, let's see. Dinner for two at Mr. Steak. The 10th caller was Joel Lippman of Granby Road, Wilmington. And the 5th caller, who won the Shadow Express record, was Joel Glazer, West 40th Street. Was that the same Joel Glazer that was on our show last week? I bet it was. Well, now I want to remind you of our special rule. If you've won within the past 8 weeks, we don't want you to call. We only give everyone a fair chance. Now, next week's show is going to feature the American Youth Jazz Band of Delaware, conducted by Hal Schiff, and they're going to be performing here just before they leave for their European tour from every year. And we're going to have Marilyn Orsini, who's going to be talking about Winterthur in Odessa. Winterthur Museum, of course, we're all familiar with. up on Kennett Pike, but now they have a new place in Odessa, and we're going to hear a little bit about that. We have the Numbers, an exciting rock group that will be appearing on our show, making their debut in Delaware TV. Pat Prescott from the Delaware Humane Society will be here to talk about how she started the Delaware Humane Society, and perhaps she'll have a few animals to give away. Now, Betty Burrows, a news journalist, will be here to talk about her experiences many years as a member of the News Journal. And we're going to have a special co-host, very close friend of mine, Crabmeat Thompson, Jerry Crabmeat Thompson, who has just completed a very successful tour of the Midwest, and he'll be back here to do some of his own special tunes in his own inimitable way. Now, I'm surrounded here by the Chapter 1 Quartet, and I didn't get a chance to ask you before. Explain a little bit about the parts involved in the musical parts in Chapter 1 Quartet music.
Well, I'd like to have everyone, all the ladies, explain their own parts. The barbershop harmony is 4 parts, no more, no less, men's and women's. But I think the people who sing those parts can probably explain that part better.
Okay.
You ought to talk to the lead first.
Okay, excuse me.
The lead is the leader. I sing lead, and essentially in barbershop harmony, the lead sings the melody of the song. That's the part that you should hear coming through most of the time.
I see.
If I'm singing it loud enough and correctly.
Okay, now where do I go to next?
Doesn't matter now.
Okay.
Go to the best part next.
Which is?
Bass.
Bass,
sing
I
bass.
agree.
Yes,
I agree.
Right. The bass sings in direct harmony with the lead,
Yes.
has mostly the predominantly lower notes,
Yes.
and between she and I, we form the basis for the barbershop quartet.
How low can you go?
To a low C, B flat.
Very nice. And you?
The baritone part is what makes the barbershop sound. My voice range is approximately the same as the leads, but sometimes I'm over her and sometimes under her, and that's what makes it sound like barbershop.
Sounds like a tricky part.
Very talented, very difficult.
If she doesn't mind saying so herself. And last but not least?
Is the tenor, and the tenor is also a harmony part, but it's the highest part, and it should be the frosting on the cake. It's above the lead, and it should be very light, and in a chorus you should have fewer tenors than you have of any other part.
And what type of places do you entertain?
I'll let Becky handle that question.
We give, as a quartet, we perform all different kinds of places. We do charitable institutions. We've sung in hospitals. We've sung for old folks' homes. We also do paid performances for social groups. We sang at Christmas time for several local organizations, and we have to pay our way, as it were, with the paid performances so that makes us able to go out and do the charitable ones.
Well, let's tell the viewers where they can reach you. The number?
My phone number is 658-1708. And if
Get that?
if you get a recording that asks you if you're renting an apartment, that's still me. Please leave a number.
And what's that number again?
658-1708.
Okay. For a good musical time, call Becky.
Call Chapter 1.
Right. And now we're going to have the song, and what are we going to hear now?
Feeling groovy.
Feeling Groovy by the Chapter 1 Quartet, and I'll see you again next week.
Ba-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy, feeling groovy. Slow down, you move too fast. You gotta make the morning last. Just kicking down the cobblestones, looking for fun and feeling groovy, feeling groovy. Hello, lamppost, what you knowin'? I've come to watch your flowers growin'. Ain't you got no rhymes for me? Do-do-do-do, feeling groovy, yeah, 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 yeah. Got no deeds to do, no promises to keep. I'm dappled and drowsy and ready to sleep. Let the morning time drop all its petals on me. Life, I love ya, all is groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy, groovy. Hello, lamppost, what you knowin'? I come to watch your flowers growin'. Ain't you got no rhymes for me? Do-do-do-do, feeling groovy, yeah, 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 yeah. Got no deeds to do, no promises to keep. I'm dappled and drowsy and ready to sleep. Let the morning time drop all its petals on me. Life, I love ya, all is groovy. Ba-da-da-da-da-da-da, feeling groovy. Ba-da-da-da.